Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 8 p.m. Keysanity, A Link to the Past randomizer race. My name is Takeru Impulse. Alongside me, who'll be joining us shortly, will be Jagger G. How's everybody doing tonight? So, our featured runners tonight are TheOkayGuy in top left, TGH in top right, d2kemps bottom left, and Jixson in the bottom right. So, TGH in the top right shows that we have Moon Pearl at Lumberjack Cave. We have the TheOkayGuy going up to check library, and we'll see. Couldn't quite see what that was. Tree pull from Jixson, just hearts, not a lot of use there. d2kemps collecting some red rupees. Drop down in the forest is just 20 rupees. Heart container being found by Jixson. So for those of you new to this mode, Keysanity means that all the dungeon items and keys are located anywhere. They're not just in their respective dungeons. So it'll tell you what you find. You know, you may find the Swamp Palace small key in Pod, for example, and it'll tell you that. Bombs in Tavern.
Yeah, the main difference is, well, the main exception is if you find a key in its own dungeon, it just won't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Which, to the best of my knowledge, that will be fixed in the future. It will tell you that it's for its respective dungeon. So, TheOkayGuy finding a couple small keys for Pod early on. You're gonna find a ton of those. There's just so many of those throughout the world.
And with that Moon Pearl in Lumberjack Cave, we're gonna definitely see some Aga Tower at some point.
Mm-hmm.
However, that does mean we're going to need to find 2 small keys for Aga Tower first.
Yep. TheOkayGuy finding one of them, and Cane of Samaria. And the big key to Eastern Palace. Red boomerang in the back.
It's pretty nice. So as soon as they find Bow, they could fully complete Eastern. It'll be embarrassing if people find the Bow before they get the big key to one of those places and just go to the back.
Mm-hmm.
Which has happened before. I believe one of yesterday's races that happened. It looked like a great play until they got to the big key door.
Keysanity can just mess with your mind quite a bit. You forget which keys you have, and you think what you're making is a great play until you run face first into a door asking, hey, where's the key?
So, yeah, this interesting that they got the cane so early. Normally, it's not really progression. However, it is pretty much their only weapon at this point.
Yeah, the boomerang would be able to stun, but it wouldn't kill enemies, so they needed something. So cane there isn't too bad, though. Only Jixson currently has any magic to use it. So TGH seeing that there's only bombs at the race game, not really worth going through the time to go grab those. So with Moon Pearl being on Lumberjack Ledge, that means we'll probably see early Lamp, though I doubt most people would need it. Though, with Aga being required, they may want the Lamp. That's not a real fun darkroom to do.
No, absolutely not. Although conveniently, they're getting a lot of red rupees along the way. There's plenty of rupees to pay Zora if they find the glove or the flippers anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. If they are short by a little bit, a wool hand room might not be the worst idea. I believe Jixson did one very early, which I feel like is a really good play for Keysanity, just because there's usually not a lot of money early on.
Yeah, I guess a lot of things tend to be moved into dungeons because the keys are moved into the overworld instead.
Mm-hmm.
This means we could pretty much throw the whole like 3 items in Eastern and whatnot right out the window because there are more chests that could potentially have important items.
Yep, Keysanity, that old your regular style of tracking items that you don't have to worry about finding the map or the compass. That doesn't work here. Lamp at 300 rupees in Mini Moldorm Cave. That's not bad. So now we're just looking for 2 sword upgrades and or the cape. And a second castle tower key, though for all we know it could be in one of the 2 chests. You can check with that single key.
What I would love to find is just the cape and the bug catching net. No sword.
Well, they would need the sword to slash through the curtains.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm getting it confused with, well, swordless mode.
Swordless. That's alright, there have been quite a few of those recently. Just 5 rupees in Ice Rod Cave. So nobody's checked Sarashla's Hut or Eastern yet, so I feel like possibly Bo could be there at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, or it could be in Turtle Rock as usual. And that's usually a play people tend to do nowadays because dungeons tend to have more progression items in the current logic, but it's usually one of the later places they go to.
Especially finding Samaria this early, T-Rock probably has at least one nice thing in it that our players are going to want.
TGH happy to find his silver arrows. Not quite usable yet, but once he can, it's definitely a big increase in damage output.
Oh, absolutely. Once the bow gets found, that is huge early on. So we have the TheOkayGuy fake flippering up to go check the guy under the bridge. TGH is working his way through the castle. d2kemps possibly going to check Eastern. Just 20 rupees under the bridge. And Jixson is in Mini Moldorm Cave. He'll get his 300 rupees and the lamp very shortly.
So far, TGH, I believe, has found the key to a key to the Tower of Hera. I think it was in the castle. I don't think anyone else has done that yet.
Nope, nobody else has touched castle yet.
It's good thinking to use his cane as the weapon here. Normally you would want to put it off until you get a sword, but just any weapon will do, really. Like, even a minimum of 5 bombs will be enough.
Yeah, as long as you have the magic to use Cane a few times, it's actually pretty good for Castle. Did find a small key to Ganon's tower. Not quite the key they're looking for, but...
Yeah, small keys kind of become the trolley dungeon items of dungeons. Like, you get so excited when you see a key, and then you see it's actually from Maya or something ridiculous.
d2kemps finding glove in Sarashla's hut, it looks like. Small key to Thieves' Town
nice.
in the cell in Castle.
It gives access to 2 items on Mountain with that lamp in hand.
Finding some more bombs in Eastern. Not too terribly useful, but without a sword, any weapon would help. TheOkayGuy finding his silver arrows from Uncle. Big key to Swamp in Eastern.
Well, that's a weight off their shoulders already. It's really you want to find that before you get to Swamp.
It only gives 1 chest, so its usefulness is arguable.
Well, the main concern is that the first key you'll find for Swamp will be that first chest in Swamp, which is a vanilla location, and if you're not expecting to find it there, then actually I believe that's the only key to Swamp, actually.
Well, they found the big key. The small key is the important one. We don't know where that one is yet.
Oh, I thought you said small key.
No,
My bad.
big key. Sorry. No, that small key is... It can be nice, but it can also lead you down a red herring path, if there's nothing in there. Another small key to Ganon's tower. So 3 of our 4 players have the gloves, and 3 of our 4 players have swords. The TheOkayGuy in the castle is the only one who hasn't gone and checked Sarashla's hut. So, for those of you who remember Swamp Palace, the small key being in vanilla location more often than not, that bug was fixed in V28. It used to have a 10% chance of appearing there and another roughly 10% chance of appearing in the back half of Pod. That was fixed. Ooh, hook shot on d2kemps in Eastern. Lamp, gloves, and hookshot, that's a giant neon flashing sign saying, "Hi, go check Death Mountain. I've heard it's lovely this time of year." Jixson finding his big key to Swamp. A couple seconds ahead of TGH finding theirs. So it looks like the TheOkayGuy will be checking, getting as far as they can and escape. Jixson and TGH both working through Eastern. They'll be finding their hook shots pretty soon. And d2kemps going to check castle as well. The TheOkayGuy doing it lampless, though. Everyone else had lamp when they did it.
Hmm. Did he check the lumberjack cave earlier?
I believe so.
Okay, and it's usually a sign that the lamp would be placed pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting that he opts to do it in the dark when he knows there's a good chance he could find it.
Yeah, hopefully he did see that it was Moon Pearl. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really sure he did check. Looks like TGH will be heading to check Death Mountain.
I guess there's mainly a convenience. It'll save a few seconds because you don't have to stop to throw the boomerang to find yourself. But I guess for his routing, like, it would be an okay sequence break, since he knows he's gonna close the loop anytime.
Right. Not a huge deal if you know how to do it without too much trouble with the boomerang. Then might as well just do it while you're there instead of having to come back. TGH currently running the old man home through the caves. We'll see what that ends up getting him. We have the OK Guy working through Eastern, d2kemps and Jixson both in the castle. So, Jagger, any thoughts about the race so far?
Well, with I got one required, there's roughly the same chance of pedestal seed, so the odds of pedestal seed are kind of like super slim because of that now.
We'll see. Spectacle Rock is stacked today. You have the book on top of it, and you have the boots inside of it. Okay, TGH. Okay. TGH deciding, I don't want to fall down the hole. I just want to hover across it. It's fine. So, boots are half of the puzzle unlocked now to unlocking Moon Pearl. We're just looking for that second castle tower key. Well, I shouldn't say half. We're still, I guess we still need a Master Sword or a cape as well. So, a piece of the puzzle has been found at least.
I like puzzles.
They're fun. Sometimes they're like Keysanity and they hurt your head a bit, but otherwise they're fun. Nothing in the bottom half of Paradox Cave. We'll see what's in the 5 chests upstairs.
It's funny, even if we have the mitts and the hammer and like 4 swords or whatever, we still won't be able to access Dark World until we fight Aghanim.
There's your second castle tower key in upstairs of Paradox Cave. Big key to Pod, and a map for Swamp. So again, for those new to Keysanity, maps are actually fairly useful in this mode. They tell you whether or not the respective dungeon is a crystal or a pendant, because the music in each of the dungeons is randomized, so you can't use that as a clue. The OK Guy finding his hookshot in Eastern. See where he decides to go. Just a big 20 on the floating island. We'll see what's in Spiral Cave. d2kemps bringing the old man home, finding a small key to Misery Mire, which not entirely useful. Yep, Jixson and the ALTTP going down to check back of escape roughly the same time. We'll see what's in those 3 chests. TGH checking bonk rocks west of Sanctuary, finding a shield. Not quite something he would want for Aghanim, but still nice. Gives you a sun to hold in your other hand.
Yeah, it'll keep you warm, protect you from the wind.
Yeah. Not a lot of use against the rocks falling on your head in Death Mountain, but, you know, it's something. So now we're looking for Mirror to get into Desert as well. Because we would want the book on Spectacle Rock for Desert.
That's interesting.
This seed is real interesting so far. Like, I feel like it's rare enough to require Aga in a Keysanity seed at all, but it's a lot of real interesting item locations.
And they're having a bit of difficulty finding the means to get to Aga Tower.
Mm-hmm. If we're looking for a cape or we're looking for a sword upgrade. Which, nobody's checked Agonaut Cave yet, so I'm feeling like there's something there. I'm not sure where else there would be anything.
That'd be kind of trolly, knowing that they have no access to desert for a while.
Where else could there be anything at this point? Obviously, we have more knowledge than the runners would, but...
Have they already checked the bonk spot, or bonk rock at least?
Yeah. There was nothing of importance there.
The OK guy's gonna be jumping for joy with those boots pretty soon. He's pretty well versed in hovering, so we may just see that at some point in this run. Potentially right away.
Yeah. See if he does the same thing TGH does, do a little showing off. Gets a little bit across the gap. Hovering is just so difficult. So, yeah, it's looking like Agona's Cave may have something. Either the mirror to get the book to go check Desert.
Is this going to be our first Zora check, by the way?
I believe it was checked earlier. I don't think he had anything. An expensive life lesson, if I remember correctly. Yeah. A blue rupee for your 500.
Jeez. Yeah, I usually look at the rupee counts to determine that, but I guess this has been a pretty rich seed so far. Can't really tell.
So, d2kemps, the first of our featured runners to go into Agonos Cave. We'll see what's in here. And there it is, the Master Sword upgrade.
First one to be able to get to the Dark World?
Yep.
And nice knowing that bow's on the ledge as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be priority when you get the chance to get it. Especially with silvers already. So d2kemps booking it straight to Aga. I assume TGH will as well now that he's picked up Master Sword. Did TGH see what was on the ledge? Or did he just go straight to Agonos Cave?
No, you checked the ledge.
Okay. So, 2 of our forerunners are making their way up to defeat Aghanim 1. The other 2, well, both of them were in Death Mountain. One of them save it quits, thinking about where to go, decides to go to Sanctuary. Jixson rethinking, saving and quitting out again. Possibly remembering to go check the Agonos Cave? We'll see. And the TheOkayGuy working through Spiral Cave at the moment. A lot easier with boots than without boots. It just takes so long to walk through it. Finding the map.
Especially with the sword as well.
Even hookshot is really helpful in there. Just a map to Ganon's Tower. Well, at least we'll get to know if Ganon's Tower is a crystal or a pendant.
Yay.
Or if you get lost on your way there. d2kemps and TGH have both found the Cane of Burna in Aghanim Tower. Which is kind of a nice safety to have. It is nice to have fighting blind later on. Jixson is picking up their Master Sword upgrade, and the TheOkayGuy will be shortly.
The one nice thing about knowing Aghanim's required is that you absolutely know he's required, rather than some instances where he's probably required, but there are some checked places and you might find Pearl.
Yeah, it's almost a relief because you know you're going to have to do it as well as everyone else is going to have to do it. Or like, yeah, it's more time, but it's time everybody is going to have to do. Especially finding lamp early too, obviously, because it's required in logic. It's less of a detriment than it would be otherwise if you're going in. Well, I haven't checked these places, but I feel like the items are leading me here, so let's see what happens. So this is at least the second Aghanim required Keysanity siege raced this week in the dailies. which is kind of surprising. TGH is the first to put Aghanim down.
It takes a lot of requirements for Aga to be required. You gotta be able to find 2 castle keys early on, and on top of that, you gotta require, well, on top of the normal requirements for Aghanim.
Yep, 2 keys are required, plus lamp, plus boots if the item in question is at lumberjack. If it's on pyramid, then boots aren't entirely required. Plus at least 1 sword, plus cape, if you don't have the master sword upgrades. I've seen ones where master sword and cape are both obtainable and Aga's required in Keysanity, so sometimes the signs are all there telling you, yeah, go do this as soon as possible. TGH, picking up the Moon Pearl.
Even though it's random, it sure feels like it tells you where to go sometimes.
Absolutely. Especially in Keysanity. It becomes fairly linear at one point. To be forced into such a linear state this early is incredibly rare. So, we'll see what the next piece of progression found will be.
They have pretty much the whole world open up to them. Just a few Dark World areas they can't check, like Mire and Death Mountain, but other than that, they got the hookshot to completely circle the rest of Hyrule.
TGH deciding to check Catfish first after saving, quitting, grabbing the Moon Pearl, and saving and quitting again. 300 rupees at Catfish, not entirely useful. I guess potion money if you really want it.
Dark Zora, I guess, actually refunding your life lesson partially.
He felt a little bit bad for you, so it's like, oh, okay, you know, here's 3/5 of what you had, it's fine. You know, just don't do it again. I believe 2 keys for pod were found so far. Probably not worth checking pod early, but we'll see.
According to the logic, I think you need what is it, 3 keys to open a few extra chests? Because the second key could be used in any of a few different locations, so if you use it on the wrong door, then the logic wouldn't really punish you for that.
There's a lot of different ways you can handle pod. It's up to preference. TGH, d2kemps both deciding Skullwood sounds like a good play. It's not a bad play without any keys for it. Especially with Kane, like d2kemps is showing, that you could bypass all the stuff in that room, only gets a piece part for his troubles, but it's generally not a terrible play. Alright, 3 of our 4 featured runners have the Moon Pearl. Jixson is working their way up to get theirs.
So normally Skullwoods here has 2 items to get But in Keysanity, since you don't need very many keys or dungeon items inside the dungeon, it could be as many as 5 before you even get the fire rod.
Yep, it makes routing decisions a little bit more interesting. Just deciding where to use what keys.
Of course, TGH already got a compass anyway, but that's beside the point.
Well, Skullwood's really not really paying out this time.
The okay guy accidentally wandering out of bounds for a second. Boots are way too powerful.
Jixson deciding to go with the early pod play. We'll see if that pays off. Vamos in chest game in Dark Town for TGH.
That'll potentially open up Ice Rod as soon as they have mitts and, well, flippers, I guess. But that's a kind of a nice replacement sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Especially without half magic, Ice Palace with Bombos is pretty nice. Titan's Mitts in Thieves Town in the second chest.
Oh, wow. It's almost vanilla, but a little more convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially without the hammer. Yeah. Speaking of, there's the hammer for TGH. So d2kemps will be picking it up shortly as well. It's like we know, man. And big key for Tower of Hera in the fourth chest in Thieves Town.
Thieves Town is loaded. And I think that was an intentional death. I don't think he had the big key for Thieves Town, so it's just checking the first 4.
Yeah.
Much to his benefit.
Mm-hmm. The map to Mire on TGH's side in the bombable hut.
And the first 4 play in Thieves Town, I feel like is a lot more, is a lot better in Keysanity, because normally you want to avoid double dipping dungeons, but that's kind of not really possible in Keysanity. There are often times where you have to at least triple dip at a dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first play in the first 4 for Thieves Town is incredibly useful. Map for Pod and the Hammer Pegs cave. Jixson finding the big key for Mire in Pod. But runs out of keys. So they have to leave. The ALTTTP finding their Titan Smiths will shortly find the hammer. So if you had 15 digs for a big 20 in the digging game, you win. Our players don't.
Maybe they could afford another life lesson from Zora.
A little surprised at no mirror yet. But d2kemps is wishing that they had the mirror right there, though. Old Stumpy has your shovel.
Shovel.
I wonder if we'll get Vanilla Flute out of it now, too.
It's certainly possible.
Hype Cave contains a small key to Pod. small key to T-Rock, a small key to Desert Palace, Powder, and a big 20.
Well, that's reasonably high.
For Keysanity, that's not bad.
Those are all important keys.
Yeah. Desert Palace key gives you 2 items. T-Rock, you could skip a key in T-Rock if you want to skip the vanilla big key location, which that can or cannot pay out. And Pod, if you know how to hammer jump, you can skip using a small key in there as well.
And if they could find the mirror before dipping into Pod, they could skip the first door as well. Because they could get that bow and hammer down the pegs in, like, behind the mimic room.
Mm-hmm.
Normally there are 6 keys for Palace of Darkness, but you can find some creative uses to skip a lot of them.
Yeah, pod routing in Keysanity is quite interesting. So, 300 rupees in King's Tomb, and the big key for Desert Palace in basement of Tower Farah, in the peg room.
Ooh, so that's gonna be completable as soon as they get mirror.
I'm interested to see if they're going to decide to get book immediately when they get mirror, or hope that they find flute and can go in like the back half of desert instead.
The book can wait, to be honest.
d2kemps with the mirror at the
Nice.
Smith's house. That's very useful.
Yeah, that's one you kind of want to put off until you have the mirror, so it's good on him to actually just pull the trigger on that and just get that mirror.
That was a very good play. And Ice Rod at the Magic Bat.
Wow.
We're not sure if T-Rock's required yet or not, but that's okay to have.
Yeah, that's a trolly enough location that it might be required.
Yeah.
Like, if it were the first item they got, it would probably be Pendant Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm. Bottle for defeating Moldorm for TGH, and it is a crystal. The shovel spot ends up being a small key for Ice Palace, which, if you know what you're doing in there, is more or less useless.
I could say a bit at a time, at least one key.
Yeah, one key is nice to have. More than one, you don't really need. I mean, if you want to check the big chest, you'll want the big key, but you don't even need that to finish the dungeon.
So was that flippers on Bumper Cave Ledge?
Cave block flippers, yes they are.
Ooh. So they're gonna need just about everything.
Uh-huh.
They still need flute to access desert as well.
Ether on TGH's screen in Hookshot Cave. Small key for Skullwood. Compass for desert, and I think there's bombs in there as well. No reason to go Floating Island because that was just a big 20. See what's in Super Bunny Cave. Cape and a 10 bomb upgrade.
Nice.
So TGH will be able to go grab the flippers once he checks Bumper Cave.
You know, it's a little bit disappointing that d2kemps opted to do this Southern Dark World route before going up to get his, because he would be able to access Bombo's tablet right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets another key for Ice Palace.
So you have TGH going through Spike Cave, TheOkayGuy going into Hera, Jixson working through Thieves Town, and d2kemps doing overworld assorted things. Opens the purple chest, gets a big 20, and there is Flute in Spike Cave.
Yes! Spike Cave pulling through this time.
We'll see how many of our other featured runners decide to do Spike Cave this early.
As long as they have a bottle, it would be Spike Cave would be in the logic, because you could get a green potion to be able to use the Canaberna or the Cape.
Right. And TGH does have 2 bottles. One of them had a red potion in it, so he was able to use that because he went in with 1 heart. It was okay otherwise. TGH activating his flute. We'll see where he decides to go. Ether Tablet is just a 5 bomb upgrade. TheOkayGuy starting off on Moldorm with the sword, but switching over to hammer. Very solid Moldorm fight there. Gets a bottle and a crystal for his troubles. TGH checking Bumper Cave, seeing flippers, and immediately going for it. Don't know if they're required yet, but might as well grab them while you're here. We still haven't had any map checks, have we?
I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't make that much difference unless you have the maps for dungeons, but
Right.
I'm not sure how many maps we've actually found. I've seen lots of compasses.
Meyer was found, that's a green pendant. Apparently we know Swamp is a blue pendant, or blue-red. d2kemps beating Moldorm without too much trouble. So Pod is a crystal. Pod is crystal number 3. And it looked like the medallion required to enter Myros Bamos. Yes, it was. Meyer shed containing a single arrow, and not much else. Maybe that'll be the arrow used to beat Ganon. We'll see. TGH skipping out on bringing the Smith home means he doesn't have mirror, which means that he can't grab the bow. So Meyer is... It would be easier if he had the bow, especially with silvers. I'm pretty sure he has the big key. I know somebody has it, I believe.
For which
Meyer?
dungeon?
I know somebody picked it up. So, Bamos tablet has a small key to Turtle Rock.
That's handy.
Chest at the end of the bridge in Meyer has a small key to Pod.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to full clear it, if not now, pretty soon.
And Quake was found in Meyer, in the spike room. So TGH having all 3 medallions, so it doesn't really matter what T-Rock is, he'll be able to go in. Let's see, 20 rupees from the first chest on the right in Desert. We'll see what's in the second one. Map for ice in Meyer. See what's in the top middle chest in Desert shortly. Key, small key to Ganon's Tower. Sick Kid has the big key for T-Rock. Interesting. Torch in Desert only had a heart container on it. And the big key chest, or big chest in Desert had a piece of heart. So it looks like bow was really the big thing for Desert, and it wasn't even in the dungeon proper. So, 2 of our 4 featured runners now have the bow off the Desert ledge. See what they decide to do with it. Okay, TGH saving and quitting out of Meyer after grabbing most of the chests available. D2kemps working through Desert, going to go fight the boss. TheOkayGuy working through the rest of Desert. Jixson has just checked Type Cave, probably gotta go drop that purple chest off and get his 20 rupees out of it. TGH checking Waterfall of the Wishing, getting 10 arrows and a compass for Turtle Rock out of it. So, not really paying out there. So TGH working his way over to Ice Palace. He'll be the first of our 4 featured runners to check ice. In Checkerboard Cave, just a piece of heart. d2kemps gets their crystal out of desert. We'll see if it's a regular one or a 5-6.
The Bombo's coming in handy, not having the fire rod yet.
Yep. Heart container in first chest in Ice Palace. Looks like desert was just a regular crystal. So Jixson doing a quick map check, seeing that Hera is a crystal, so deciding to go in for it. Okay, so our red crystals are T-Rock and Skull Woods. If you talk to the bomb vendor in Link's house in the Dark World, he tells you what your 5 and 6 crystals are, so you can buy the super bomb.
Yeah, that's significantly more handy in Keysanity, not knowing what they are beforehand. And that also means that you will need the fire rod for both of those dungeons. So.
Yep. TheOkayGuy making quick work of desert, getting a crystal.
That also kind of confirms that the Pyramid Fairy is not going to be required because they'll be in go mode by that time. Well, other than the the keys.
Yeah.
It could very well have Dennis Tower Big Key.
That it could. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I keep forgetting go mode isn't just items anymore. It does require keys to get through the game.
Yep. So, in Ice Palace, the small key to Swamp. Very important small key. Basically, the most important small key. So, OkayGuy and d2kemps, both with the bow, are going through pod. TGH working through ice, and Jixson working through Hera. We're still looking for Fire Rod. We're still looking for the GT Big Key. Small key to pod in the freezer room in ice. TGH setting up for a bomb jump, makes it across. So going into Mire is actually significant for TGH because he found Quake in there, and apparently Quake is the T-Rock medallion. So...
Yep.
Let's see. So, OkayGuy is checking Eastern.
Makes sense.
I'm not sure if it's...
Hasn't the main to fully clear it.
See if it's a pendant or a crystal. As a, 2 and 3 chance of being a crystal right now. Small key for T-Rock, and it's a crystal. TGH using Bombos to break the ice on Cold Stare. And hammer strats on it. This is not a fun fight with Green Mail and Master Sword.
No.
And no Fire Rod.
That's right. Does he have a potion at least?
He had a red one. I don't think he has any currently.
The main problem with the Master Sword is that it just takes longer to kill him, which means you have a higher chance of getting hit a lot.
TGH survives, takes down Cold Stare with 1 heart remaining. Gets a compass and a crystal.
Excellent work.
So that means Thieves Town is the red pendant. Which, if I'm not wrong, that means Fire Rod could be on pedestal. Swamp, Mire, and Thieves Town pendants?
That would be interesting. And it could still be any of the keys needed to progress.
Yep. It could be the Ganon's Tower big key, which I have seen in Keysanity before. TGH going to visit the sick kid, getting the big key for the Turtle Rock.
Wow, I think that's all of them, isn't it? 4 in the game, is it?
I think so.
Well, from chests at least.
Okay, I've never seen that bomb jump before. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a little bit of time. Not much, but it's pretty swag.
That's what's important, is the swag.
Yeah.
Setting up for a hammer jump to avoid having to use an extra key in here. Makes it across, fairy in a bottle. And the big chest in pod.
Nice.
Big key for Ganon's Tower in the Dark Maze.
Here we go.
That is such a load off your shoulders when you find that thing. And some bombs. Well, the dream is dead for Pedestal GT Big Key, but Fire Rod could still be there. Keep hope alive for that. Oh, I'm sorry, no. My bad. Fire Rod was found by d2kemps in, apparently on Helmasaur.
Oh.
So, pedestal hopes and dreams, unless it's a different required key, I guess, are gone. Sorry, chat.
And you know what? I think that's just totally not required at all with the... Like, you don't need big key for Mothula, do you?
No. Swamp and Skullwoods, you don't need the big key to finish the dungeon. It only gives you a single chest.
Right. Alright. Yeah, I've seen big key on Mothula in the past. So I think that's all the big keys they need, actually. They've already known them all. And I'm pretty sure that's all the small keys they need, unless they misuse them in pod or something.
Yeah. No, looks like this is actually a pretty straightforward Keysanity seed, even with AGA 1 required.
Well, yeah. I guess that is a pretty linear start to it. And not too shortly afterwards. Like that mirror on Smithy's was a little bit trolly, but it's somewhat expected. That's been a thing for the past several versions.
Mm-hmm. So, Swamp being a pendant, you don't really need flippers for it.
Have they been there?
No, nobody's been there yet.
So Swamp was not required.
Yeah, it looks like Swamp isn't required at all. Assuming that everybody's got to do the same things everybody else has at this point. Yeah, everything's in more or less non-trolly locations. If the worst thing you could say is that you had to do Smiths without mirror to get the mirror, that's not too bad. The okay guy making short work of Helmasaur. Gotta get his fire rod and a crystal.
The fire rod for the okay is the crystal, and onward to whatever his next guy's house, I guess.
Mm. Like, the only thing I could think that may trip people up is if they don't want to go into Mire because it's green pendant. And Quake is there to open up T-Rock.
True.
Like, that's the one thing that might get people. TGH finding his GT Big Key in Dark Mason Pod. The okay guy making his way into Skullwoods for it looks like the first time? Or at least he had unchecked chests. Maybe he had been here before. No, nope, it's his first time in, so he actually gets out slightly ahead for Skullwoods because he has the fire rod and can complete it. Everybody else is gonna have to go back. Jixson finishing up Desert, getting a crystal, his second.
Yeah, I guess the okay guy would like to find a sword. All of these runners have yet to find one. Could very well be in Swamp House.
Yeah. I mean, at least they have silver, so it's not like they're doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon at the end of this, but at least having Tempered would be really nice. So, there's two possibilities for items here in Skullwoods. There's a chest at the end that d2kemps is checking, and then you have the item that drops off a Mothula.
Yeah, and some runners would actually prefer to do silver tempered than to do Master Sword with silvers.
Yeah, I would definitely prefer Tempered Silverless over Master with silvers, just because hitting those spin attacks is just such a pain sometimes. At this point, though, I would almost take a mail upgrade over a sword upgrade. Because everybody's still on green. Ooh, d2kemps getting in there just as the door is closing. The okay guy fighting the moth. Has to be very careful, he's on 2 hearts. But seems like he's holding up well enough, dodging the spikes and the attacks.
Yeah, those unruined rings that the moth shoots deals 3 hearts of damage, I believe. Luckily, the spikes only do 1 heart, so he managed to boost himself into the moth and get the final hit.
Very good fight, finds the bug-catching net and a crystal.
The moth was really worried that someone would catch him with the net and opted to keep it for himself.
He didn't want to be mounted in a case on somebody's wall, apparently. One heart, but has a red potion, so he elects to use it.
Oh, jeez.
Good fight, gets bug catching himself, and the crystal. TGH electing to go fight Vitreous with Master Sword, no bow.
Wow.
13 hearts at least?
No, that is a pendant, does he?
He may not, or he may see that it's green and thinks that there might be something here.
But he knows the bow is on the desert ledge, or at least he saw it. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe he's hoping for a sword upgrade. Maybe he's thinking Fire Rod's here.
Looks like he busted up the powder for, I don't know.
He had the powder for the fairy in the room before.
Okay.
A map of T-Rock. So the okay guy going to get the flippers. Swamp is a trap right now. Swamp is a trap nobody wants to go to.
TGH, please go to ledge. No.
No, he can't. He needs the mirror. He hasn't done snips yet.
The mirror. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's why I was finishing it.
Yeah. He doesn't want to do smiths, and that is going to cost him. He's gotta go turn in green pendant and hope it's the mirror, and it's not gonna be. I mean, a sword upgrade would be beautiful right now, or an armor upgrade. And instead you get $5 for going through all that with Vitreous.
Yeah, he may not have accomplished much, but he did still very quickly.
Yeah. No, it was a very good fight for his level of equipment there. So let's take a quick stock of what our runners have and what they're looking for. The okay guy is looking for Quake. He knows he checked T-Rock. Quakes and Meyer. TGH is looking for Fire Rod, which we know is on Helmosaur. He's looking for the mirror so he can get Book and Buff. Mirrors at Smith's. Which he may be going to do now. d2kemps is looking for the flute, which is in Spike Cave. I mean, he doesn't even need flute. Yeah, no, he needs flute because he needs Skin to Mire. Sorry. Jixson looking for Fire Rod on Homa. Ice from... Where was Ice again?
The Ice Rod?
It was early.
Yeah, it was really early.
Also looking for Vamos to get into Meyer.
Bad.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, working a pistol check.
Meyer small key?
Probably a Meyer small key.
If it's a sword upgrade, that would be kinda cruel.
Arrow upgrade. Low price.
Alright.
So, pedestal is worse than useless at this point. I guess Ganon's stolen all the swords and the armors and kept them for himself in his tower, unless there's, you know, things are just
swamp,
stacked
right?
in T-Rock. There is swamp. The okay guy doing a map check, seeing that's a pendant, and going in anyway.
Or it could be Turtle Rock. I don't think anyone's started that yet.
No, nobody's gotten to T-Rock yet. Checks the first chest in swamp. I don't think he found the small key. Because it was in, was it in Meyer?
Ice.
Ice, yeah. Hasn't checked either one of those, so...
And what does the okay guy need? Has he gotten... Oh.
He just has to dive into Meyer. And he has to go do Hera. Hera, Ice. Dive into Meyer, grab Quake, and then go T-Rock.
Yeah, that's actually pretty convenient, saving Jixson, unfortunately, having not gotten the small key from Ice Palace to Swamp, unable to access that as well.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what TGH finds in the rest of Swamp. So the opening to Thieves Town was definitely required. You had Hammer there at the very least. You need to dive into Meyer to get Quake. Swamp. Unless there's something really, really nice to have in here. Swamp's just a complete bust.
Well, it could have one or both of the other swords. It could have half magic. It could have a tunic upgrade. But nothing required, really. Everything that's required has already been found.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd argue that the most important use for half magic is already done by TGH and is in progress by D2 and OKGuy. You'd really want it for Ice Palace, but you have Vamos. The okay guy trying to hover across the bomb jump pit.
Yeah, one of the smaller pits. If you know how to hover, it's really nice. Really, much easier than all the other hovers. Unfortunately, like, it's still as hard as hovering because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guy getting across with the bomb jump.
Yeah, it's almost a detriment to know how to hover because then you don't feel the need to practice the bomb jump.
I do love the 2-bomb strat for that penguin room. It just looks so cool when you pull it off.
Yeah.
So just a quick shout out to our runners. If you enjoyed what you're seeing here, go give each of them a follow. We have TheOkayGuy in top left, we have TGH top right, d2kemps bottom left, and Jixson in bottom right.
Jixson, there we go, he pulled off one hover.
Had to show off for the crowd a little bit. Jixson trying desperately to find some magic. Enough to do a single cast of bombos to get into Ice Palace proper.
I think that's just barely enough.
He had a little bit extra. A little bit more than, I believe it's 25% for a medallion cast.
Okay.
So he had a little bit more. I think he has enough for...
for a lamp use.
Basically 1 or 2 lamp uses.
Allegedly. Sometimes I think with half magic there's an issue where it looks like you have magic but you don't have enough for lamp.
The meter is weird. It's not 100% accurate. Like, certain pixels are missing where they shouldn't be. Tempered Sword in Swamp, so not a complete waste of time for diving in there.
And a full magic decanter in from a penguin in Ice Palace. That's very handy.
Mm-hmm. So, half magic and tempered in Swamp.
Convenient. Not where they needed to go, but where they like it paid out.
Yeah. Would have been far more useful before Ice. But it is what it is.
Unfortunately, you couldn't do it before Ice.
Yeah.
It had the key. So, making good use of dash pokes with a hook shot to take Argus's puffs down pretty quickly.
Yep. Good fight against Argus on TGH's side. d2kemps currently fighting against Cold Stare. Don't think they have... They have to be very careful. They're at... Oh. Fairy, though, so...
Yeah, they got that fairy in the bottle before, where was that again?
Big chest and pod.
Right. Did he get another one? He was fishing for fairies earlier. No, that was it?
Doesn't look like it.
That's harsh.
TheOkayGuy getting to Cold Stare having to mirror out because he doesn't have enough magic.
Oh man. I don't know what's worse.
Those are both really, really rough situations. TGH getting mirror, getting the bow. So once TGH goes and finishes out, finishes pod, he'll be in go mode. He'll find the big key to GT there, he'll find the fire rod on the boss. ALTTP just needs Quake out of Mire. d2kemps needs Flute out of Spike Cave and Quake out of Mire. And Jixson needing Flute out of Spike Cave and Quake out of Mire. And Fire Rod and Ice Rod. Ice Palace is just unforgiving to our featured runners tonight.
Yeah, it is. It can be pretty harsh once you fall in it once. Because you go in pretty well prepared, and then like you lose a life, and like you already used up your fairies and bottles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good decision to just bail out and go to pod instead.
Mm-hmm.
And really convenient because he fought Aghanim and has the mirror. It just takes him straight to the pyramid. Oh, nope, he's going back for something. Revenge, it looks like. Nope. No, he's going to the swamp. No, he's not. Wow, I'm such a liar.
d2kemps deciding, I want some potions for this, because Ice Palace with Green Mail is dumb. It's just flat out dumb. Master Sword, Green Mail, Ice Palace.
Yeah, in Vanilla, the blue mail is in Swamp, or not Swamp, Ice Palace.
The big chest in Ice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Generally, Vanilla gives you what you need, and Ice Palace gives you a tunic upgrade. It's like, okay, like you're just like 2/3 of the way through the game, you could finally have extra defense now.
Sure. You'll have liked this a dungeon or two ago, but it's fine. You didn't need it for Thieves Town. ALTTP catching a fairy. d2kemps going to get his expensive life lesson of $5. Jixson working through Swamp. TGH checking random overworld stuff, going into Checkerboard Cave at the moment, just seeing a piece of art. TheOkayGuy using Fire Rod to break the ice on Cold Stare.
It is faster. It's just now he doesn't have it for the puffs.
Yeah. It might be faster, but you're risking a whole lot more with it, and you're worried about it after. So it looks like he's got a pretty solid hold on it right now. Yeah, he did fine.
If you manage to do the fastest method and get it trapped in the corner, that can, like, that would make the fight fast enough that just burning off all your fire rod shots is faster, but it's really tough with Master Sword, and I don't think anyone's bothered. I don't know if anyone's done it. Like, if they actually gotten what's his face trapped in the corner. Well, I guess it's probably been done, but it's very difficult to do, at least, and not recommended.
TGH's fight before, he attempted to get Cold Stare stuck in the corner, but after one or two tries, Cold Stare broke out, so he just did a standard hammer fight after that.
Yeah, in retrospect, if you have Master Sword, it might be more worth it. It probably saves more time to use Bombos and then use Fire Rod on the puffs.
Yeah, at the very least, even if you try Gimp stuck in the corner, if they're coming after you, the three of them, you could kind of just fire at them to push them away. Like, the knockback, I feel like, is the most useful part of that, more than anything else. So, OkayGuy working through pod. d2kemps and Jixson going through Swamp Palace. They'll find half magic and a tempered sword upgrade there. TGH going to T-Rock? Maybe?
Can't believe that the fire rod's there.
Oh no.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess you would go into Keysanity figuring, okay, there's gotta be at least one trolley thing, so I wonder if he's thinking that the trolley thing here is gonna be Fire Rod T-Rock. JT and Fairy in a Bottle was the big chest in Pod.
That's a risky play. He must be feeling pretty behind, having missed out on that mirror for so long.
Mm-hmm. Finding the compass to Ganon's Tower in the first chest in T-Rock, so it can tell you exactly how many of the chests you aren't going to open, because you already have the big key.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to kick himself once he finishes Pod out. He was just over there.
The OkayGuy looking for quick, about to get his tempered and half magic.
Swamp catching so many people even though nothing required in it. So let's see, what haven't we seen so far? We haven't seen the mushroom, we haven't seen blue boomerang, haven't seen any armor upgrades, haven't seen mirror shield, we haven't seen golden sword.
That's a lot of stuff in G-Tower.
And it is. Jixson finding the blue pendant at the end of Swamp. d2kemps will be finishing Swamp shortly as well, and the OkayGuy making his way through. Map for Hyrule Castle in Mimic Cave, in case you forgot the way back there. Just a single green rupee and big chest into your rock.
Wow, what value?
You open up that big chest, like that big chest, eyes aglow, glittering with hope, and inside you find a single green rupee lying at the bottom, discarded.
Limited mint. There are only 2 in chests in the game.
That just gives me an idea for a Triforce hunt. Those 2 green rupees are the only rupees in the game, and one of the shops has the final Triforce piece for 2 rupees. Yeah, we make them actually worth getting. So on Laser Bridge we have the big key to Ice Palace, a big 20, the compass to Misery Mire, and 3 bombs. Not the fire rod.
No.
We know where that is.
So by logic, you were supposed to come here before Ice Palace.
Yep.
Or at least before beating Ice Palace.
Yeah, logic. A double dip required T-Rock.
Going straight to pedestal. This is the last hope.
We haven't seen the Thieves Town big key yet, have we?
I'm not sure. I want to say someone has it. Maybe not.
Well, if anybody has it, they at least haven't gone to check what's in the chest.
Or the whole back half, in fact.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess maybe not. It could very well be in Ganon's Tower as well.
Mm-hmm. So TGH is gonna go bring the purple chest to get opened, find a big 20 in there. We have TheOkayGuy making his way to Argus and Swamp, d2kemps going through Ice, and Jixson going through Pod.
Yeah, this is exactly why a lot of commentators hesitate to say anyone has a lead, per se. Like, they'll have advantage, they'll have, like, all the items they need. Just missing, like, 1 key, and someone else has it already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's near impossible to say, this person has a lead in Keysanity, because there's so many options and so many places to go and so many different routes people can take that, as Jagger said, you know, we could say that X person has an advantage because they have Fire Rod, but you know, who would be ahead in D2 versus TGH right now? TGH has a flute, d2kemps has Fire Rod, and each one is looking for the other thing.
And just not long ago, D2 only had like 2 crystals, and now he's up to 5. It's pretty much tied for the lead as far as crystals go.
Yep. d2kemps using good use of that fire rod. And half magic. Half magic helps in Ice Palace to take down Cold Stare, getting a compass, and the Ice Palace crystal. So they are at 6 crystals, however, they are still looking for Quake. And by extension, they're looking for the flute because Quake's in Mire. So they need to go do Spike Cave. They need to go do Spike Cave as soon as they can.
Jixson at least will be getting his fire rod pretty shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, maybe not, because he only has 1 small key.
TheOkayGuy making the play to go check Mire.
There we go. He's just a stone's throw away from go mode.
Mm-hmm. I assume the moment he picks Quake up, he's gone. Unless he thinks that he'll find another upgrade there. Big chest in Ice Palace, the vanilla armor location, just a big 20. So Jixson will find their Ganon's Tower big key in a couple seconds. It's in the lower right in the maze room and pod.
And then get his bottle and mirror out.
Yep. TGH going up to Graveyard Ledge. I believe that was a pod small key up here. Or a key of some kind. Could be wrong.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep track of this after a while. Small key to pod.
That may be just what he was looking for.
And there is Quake, there's the mirror. TheOkayGuy on his way up to T-Rock.
And TGH on his way to pod with that key in hand.
So TheOkayGuy has GT big key. He has, I believe, enough small keys for T-Rock. He plays right. He's in go mode. TGH will beat Helmasaur here, get Fire Rod, which will allow him to go finish up Skull Woods and T-Rock himself. d2kemps with the Hammer Yump, grabbing Fairy in a Bottle, will find his Ganon's Tower big key very shortly. And Jixson finding the item from the bat. So it'll be interesting to see once our runners hit GT if they'll be opening any of the chests at all. trying to find a sword upgrade or armor. Really, that's the only thing she'd want.
Now that they all have the optional tempered sword, they may just skip everything. Even a butter sword wouldn't actually save time if you're good on Ganon.
True. Very true.
And Jixson about to find his flute. It's gonna be pointing him towards Meyer for Quake, and another pod small key as well. So it's gonna probably put him into go mode, or at least darn near it. Some frustration slashes for good measure.
So, TGH almost done with Helmosaur. And there he goes. We'll get his fire rod in a moment.
And then light his head on fire in frustration, and then he'll be on to Skull Woods.
Yep. Saw a couple sword slashes there after the boss fight after picking up a fire rod out of frustration. But right back to business over at Skull Woods. The okay guy just go moding T-Rock. You don't need anything else. Not that there is anything in there anyway. Takes down the Firehead. Takes down the Ice Head. And then just the main part of Trinex himself is left.
Wow, I didn't realize you could mirror out of Sanctuary to get to the door faster. I've probably seen that before and forgot.
Map of Eastern, plus the crystal. That is the okay guy's 7th crystal. He'll be making his way over to GT. d2kemps activating his flute. Jixson checking Meyer's shed. We'll probably go into Meyer shortly, getting the single arrow. And the piece of heart. I feel like with Green Mail, you do maybe a couple easy chest checks, or you check the torch, or just anything to help.
Yeah, this iffy. With 12 hearts, 4 bottles, I think the okay guy's just going straight up.
Think he'll be okay?
Well, I didn't say that. No, I'm sure he'll play it safe.
I mean, it does have powder, which is very useful. Silvers. TGH taking Mothula down, d2kemps going into Meyer, and Jixson going into Meyer. So they'll both pick up Quake, and probably, well, Jixson may complete more, because they don't have Fire Rod yet. I assume...
The okay guy already down to 3 hearts.
Surprised he didn't decide to go to the fairy room there.
Yeah. He might be feeling a bit behind with taking a while to check Meyer.
True. Decent enough gauntlet so far, though. See if he decides to grab a fairy from the next room or not. Nope. Just going straight into Landmolus 2. Misses an arrow shot, but doesn't matter. Still 1 cycle. Still a very good fight.
Man, I really hope he has a fairy.
I believe he does, but don't quote me on that. I think he caught one and ended up not using it. 1 cycle on the second Wizrobe room. TGH working through T-Rock. Jixson about to pick up Quake in this room. And there it is.
And a little unfortunate the D2 went left side, but I guess that is a pretty good strategy in wait, what is Jixson doing?
Checking everything he can, hoping he finds Fire Rod.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I forgot they don't know Helmazar has the Fire Rod.
Okay, guy thinking about checking Moldor 2 chests. Nah, don't need anything. Move on.
Yeah, Tunic would have been nice.
After how he did in the Gauntlet, I'm sure he feels pretty good about himself that he doesn't need it, but we'll see.
Indeed. Tempered Sword, Cape, Hookshot.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of safety. I do lump Tempered Sword in as safety, because good offense proves to be a decent defense as well.
Mm-hmm. Think okay guys have 5 hits, and there's 6. I got 2 down without any troubles, moving on to Ganon. So d2kemps finding Quake on the right side, and we'll be moving on to Turtle Rock. As TGH finishes up Trinex, getting their map to Eastern, and 7th Crystal. Okay, guy in phase 2 of the Ganon fight. Down to 2 hearts though, needs to be very careful. 1 hit here will cause him to have to restart the fight. Don't know if he has fairies or not. I thought he did, but the way he's playing, I'm not sure. That's right, he's in phase 3 now, so he should be alright. TGH just entering Ganon's tower now. we'll just go straight up, not checking any chests, have everything you need.
Yeah, and through with the second phase of Ganon, the ALTTP is... he doesn't have much danger left in the fight.
Torch glitch with the fire rod. 2, 3. And there's 4.
Excellent work.
Very nice Ganon fight. Got a little hairy there, 2 hearts remaining, but as long as you have some health remaining, that's all that matters. And that is GG for the ALTTP with an official SRL time of 1 hour 56 minutes 25 seconds. So now that he's done, I'll run through the previous placers. We have Jet082 in first place with a time of 1 hour 39 minutes 8 seconds. Kyong92 with an hour 40 minutes 11 seconds. ACMLM in third with a time of 1 hour 44 minutes. Sigma in fourth with 146.41. Greg in fifth with 148.42. Andy in sixth with 153.18. Fantalis in 7th with a time of 154.02. Salsky in 8th with a time of 1 hour 56 minutes. INC None in 9th at 1 hour 56 minutes 13 seconds. And then the ALTTP with 156.25. So, close finishers there for 9th and 10th place.
And 8th.
And 8th, yeah. 3 people finishing within 30 seconds.
And sub 2 is definitely a great feat in Keysanity. As you can see, this can send you everywhere. Multiple times.
Yep. If you fell for that Swamp Palace, even though it got you tempered and half magic, that set you back quite a bit of time.
And everyone featured here did wind up going in there.
Mm-hmm. So, Jixson working their way through Ice Palace, gonna go to get their crystal. d2kemps in T-Rock fighting Trinex, and TGH just finishing up Moldor 2, making their way to Aga 2.
In the loosest sense of the word, finishing up.
Making short work of Aga 2, moving on to Ganon, just as d2kemps also finishes off Trinex and will be moving on to Ganon's tower. Abel or LSU, currently there are 13 finishers for this race. So TGH starting off against Ganon, d2kemps working their way over to GT, Jixson making their way through Ice Palace.
Getting in some good dash pokes, dashes against Ganon. It's TGH.
Yep. phase 3 currently. And moving on to phase 4. No torch glitch, but that actually may have done better for TGH. Then a triple.
Calculated. That
Yep.
actually is a good strat against him, just to not get torch glitch, so you could time the torch relighting.
Yeah, it's more useful when you're silverless. And TGH has finished with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 1 minute, 27 seconds in 15th place.
It's actually good for silvers as well, because Ganon will teleport away as soon as he touches the wall.
Right.
So
If you
hitting
can
him
stop
against...
him in the middle, you can get more hits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of predicting where he'll be in the dark when you light that torch or the second torch. So d2kemps making their way through the gauntlet. So I assume that means that Golden Sword and the armor upgrades were either back half of Thieves Town or somewhere in GT. Wonder if anybody went for them. So we'll have
Oh, hi, Teach. What's up?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up, dude?
Teach.
Hi. What's up, guys?
I'm assuming you just finished up your daily, right?
Yeah,
GG then.
that's funny, seeing you guys in here. What's up?
Yeah, we're just setting up for a tournament match, and my Windows is updating. Leave it
Nice.
to Windows.
Classic Windows.
Based Windows.
Jixson
Oh,
restocking
great.
on
This might
his
take
potions.
several minutes.
It's a really good
That's
idea.
weird. I had my
If you're going to be using the flute anyway.
To hear TGH.
So we'll have TGH joining us for an interview in just a moment.
So the
Discord
word
is
is in. I don't know how to do
TGH,
Keysanity.
welcome, GG.
Hi, what's going on?
I don't think anybody knows how to do Keysanity.
So
It's
I did
something
how
else.
you
you feel you
really
did?
stupid that cost.
I felt I played well. I made
Yeah, but isn't
one
everyone-
very major mistake,
Yeah.
and I realized it as soon as I did it.
Everyone has
I
every idea.
severely misused keys in pod.
Yeah, tell you what, TGH, since you're when
I
when
did
you're
hammer
in the channel,
jump
'cause-
and then used the key on the rune that I did hammer
Welcome,
jump
GG.
into.
Hi, what's going
And
on?
if I had just death warped out of there, I probably would have saved
so,
myself like 15
how you
minutes
feel you did?
of searching for the last pod
I
small
felt I
key,
played well.
Yeah,
which
I
was
made
at one of my least
very
favorite
major
locations
mistake, and I
ever,
realized it as soon as I
Graveyard
did it.
Ledge.
in the Graveyard Ledge.
I
Mhm.
severely
So, and of course,
misused
Helmet
keys
had the
in
fire
pod.
rod too. Like, once I got the bow in that case, I could have
I
gone
did
straight
hammer
to,
jump and then used the key
I could have
on the
gone
rune
straight
that I did hammer
to
jump
pod to kill Helma and
And
get
if I had
fire rod,
just
and that
death
would have
warped out
been
of there,
go mode
probably
sans
would've
for
saved
like
myself,
1 or
like,
2
15
keys,
minutes
which I found along the
of
way.
searching for the last pod small key.
Yeah,
Which
that-
was
But yeah,
one of my least
I'm
favorite
still
locations
pretty
ever.
New
Graveyard
in
Ledge.
to
Graveyard
Keysanity.
Ledge.
This is only the 3rd seed I've ever done,
So, and of course, Helmet had the fire rod too. Like,
so
once I got
I'm
the
still
bow,
kind of learning about it. But yeah, that's one of the things that I need to learn is like how to use keys properly in pod with hammer jump.
I mean, 3rd seed with a time of 2:01:25. I think you're picking it up pretty well.
I'm doing okay. I played decently, aside for a couple things.
Yeah, everyone featured today had like at least one thing they were tripped up on. D2 and Jixson had the hadn't done Spike Cave, so they didn't have Flute for a long time. So they didn't have
Significantly easier.
what was it, Quake for a long time,
Quake
Yeah.
and Mire.
and as well as a pod small key in there.
Yeah, the mirror really tripped me up too, because like I'm thinking of, you know, I skipped Smiths early on, thinking I could do it with mirror later, and of course it had the mirror, which which also would have made that really really convenient to have early. But whatever, I can't really fault myself for anything I did except for the what do you call it? Except for the misuse of keys and pod. Like, other than that, I don't really think I made any mistakes. I just kind of, it was just unfortunate routing wise for the mirror, but other than that, it was okay.
Yeah, we were feeling for you there when you were going up to Turtle Rock without fire rod. Like, we know where it is, but
yeah,
man.
of course.
Really?
To be fair, I would have assumed the same thing, that there's always some kind of
How am I
troll in
missing
Keysanity,
so
so Fire Rod being in T-Rock. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed about Keysanity is like it punishes you less for diving into dungeons that you can't complete. And with that in mind, I just kind of took that and ran with it, like dove into dungeons without really much of a care at all. If there's one thing I like about Keysanity so far, it's that.
And how about that Thieves Town?
The what?
Thieves Town had hammer, mitts, one of the important keys.
And I couldn't even get to the back of it. I'm assuming the big key was in GT for
probably
for Thieves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was GT. I don't think it could have been anywhere else. So, what were you thinking when you saw a Moon Pearl on Ledge?
I don't know. Same as usual when I see Moon Pearl on Ledge. Aghanim was going to be a thing, so I was just waiting to get the stuff needed for Aga Tower, and I had the full clear of the entire Light World for it, with Agana finally giving me that Master Sword. But yeah, I mean, like, the only thing different about Keysanity in this case was that I had to get the keys. Other than that, nothing really that different.
And Ganon Hugs hurt. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it often turns out you need to double dip or even triple dip a lot of dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
And how about the Swamp Palace with the half magic and tempered sword, but not necessarily what you needed?
Yeah, Swamp. Like at least there was some value in Swamp. I figured Swamp wasn't a bad play at that point, since I was still at least 3 items. I think like 1 item and 2 keys from Go Mode at that point.
Yeah, that's true. If you hadn't found the tempered sword, would you have like checked more locations, or would you have just have dived into Ganon with Master Sword?
I would have dove into Ganon with Master Sword. I'm pretty practiced with Master Sword Ganon, so it's not really much of a problem for me.
Other than those like top 4 chest locations that are like right next to you, the rest kind of just aren't worth it, huh?
Yeah, like some chests on the way. Like there are some chests in the game that I won't mind checking in Go Mode if it means getting a sword upgrade. Now Fighter Sword, like having Fighter Sword through those is a completely different deal. Like I will not treat it like Go Mode in most cases, unless I'm playing really aggressively, which I don't normally do. But unless I'm playing like super aggressively, I will go out of my way to check some chests if I have Fighter Sword, but not with Master Sword. Like, if I can complete the game with what I have, I generally won't go out of my way. But there are some chests, like the chest right before Argus and Swamp, the Freezer Room in Ice Palace, just stuff like that I will check on the way.
Yeah, it's a good point. The whole game with just Green Tunic, I'm sure a lot of the newer players would probably be delving into like the basement of Ganon's Tower for those. That must have been pretty rough for a lot of players.
Yeah, for sure.
Having any armor upgrades for that long or at all, yeah, that's kind of hard.
Okay.
We had a few of the featured runners struggling on Cold Stare for that reason, pretty much.
Yeah, Cold Stare is tough with just Master Sword.
Yeah, It was Master Sword. Like, you had Hammer, but no Fire Rod.
Yeah.
A couple people had Fire Rod, but like not everyone.
Yeah, if you went in there with Vamos and Fire Rod, you could at least just Vamos the ice off and use Fire Rod to kind of play keep away with Cold Stare if he got too close. But it's not the ideal set of equipment you want to go into that fight with.
d2kemps finishing up as well.
d2kemps in 25th place with a time of 2:10:07 will be joining us for an interview in just a moment. D2, welcome, GG.
I think he's having a bit of mic issues, but man, that was a really rough seed going in. I believe you were one of the ones that's struggling with Cold Stare as well. That green tunic all game, it's just a kind of a nightmare, huh?
Oh yeah, we never found the mail upgrade, did we?
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Hey, welcome.
Fantastic. I did not realize I was being featured. Maybe I wouldn't have dipped into Swamp if I knew that.
It's alright, all the featured runners did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for different reasons as well. Like, you and Jixson were both struggling to find the flute in the Spy Cave. TheOkayGuy was struggling to find Quake and Meyer, and TGH had trouble finding enough small keys for Pod.
Mm.
So everyone kind of walled from completely different things.
I was like, I left Dark Palace early and needed to go back for Ganon Key, so that sucked. Basically every possible location I could, which also sucked. But yeah, I finished better than my average, which is nice.
Sweet. This is a mode that tends to force a lot of revisits to various areas and dungeons, so that's pretty good considering. Normally the estimate is like 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah, that's about right. My average is just shy of 2.5 hours.
Yeah, Keysanity, it can be rough. It can be a harsh mistress at times, but sometimes it gives you a break.
Did anyone find Ice Palace Key? Because I want to know what the logic actually wanted you to do.
It was on Laser Bridge in T-Rock.
Yeah, I found it. I found it and then went back and opened the big chest.
What was your go mode item if you were able to get into T-Rock?
My go mode item was Fire Rod, straight up.
Oh yeah, which was boss of Dark Palace.
Yeah. Which I could have fought way earlier. Again, because I missed to use keys and pod. I did hammer jump and then opened the door, stupidly. Which I never should have done. Again, I realized it as soon as I did it, too.
I ran into pod and went directly to the boss.
Really?
Yeah, I went right side directly to boss and skipped all the chests that weren't on the way. Which meant I skipped Ganon Key and needed to go back. If I hadn't done that, I had enough keys that I could have gone right side, did hammer jump, and gotten that and been done with pod. I still probably would have gone back because I could not for the life of me find the flute.
Yeah, Flute was hidden pretty well in Spike Cave.
I love that cave.
I was actually going to check Spike Cave earlier, but got killed by a Lionel, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I have to get ready for work. Thanks for restreaming me, even though I didn't realize that was
Thanks for
happening.
hopping in.
Yep, thanks for stopping by.
Good work anyway. That was still solid play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to head out too, so I'll see you guys later. Thanks again, everything.
No problem. Thank you for running.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for commentating. Thanks for restreaming me.
Yep.
Good work.
All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.
We got the okay guy angering some chickens. Some post-game content for you, I guess.
We have Jixson working their way through T-Rock. They'll be getting to try next shortly, and then on their way to GT. The okay guy didn't want to come in for an interview, but I saw him talking to some of you in chat, so...
Yeah, he did manage to pull off a hover, so good on him.
Mm-hmm.
In like halfway through Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, in the freezer room. Gotta give the fans what they want.
And Jixson a little worried of those laser eyes.
Just deciding to cape through the lasers.
He's probably looking for a tunic.
Mm-hmm. Those lasers do hurt on green mail as well. Basically everything in T-Rock hurts without any armor upgrades.
Right.
Out of magic, so can't powder a fairy to get back to full health, but still should be alright. Half magic against Trinex isn't too bad.
Yeah, and he's got a red potion, I see.
Okay, yeah, they'll be fine then. May want to consider using it just in case, though.
The second phase isn't too bad with Tempered. Just one more. Oh, I lied. 2 more hits.
2 more. There we go. Take down. Try next phase 2. Moving on to GT after getting their map to Eastern and a crystal. Those of you asking about another race, yes, there will be an open mode race at 11 PM Eastern, so in 35 minutes on Speed Gaming 3. So if you're thinking about watching, head over there once we're done here. If you want to enter, you got 34 minutes now to go do that. So, okay, Jixson still has Ice Palace to do, so they've got to go do that, and Skull Woods left to do. So, probably, we'll see if... okay, they already checked most of the chests, so they'll probably just go through here quickly.
Alright, just got to do that refight on Colster.
Yep. That and go fight versus the Moth.
Yeah, so not too much longer, pretty much just... It's unfortunate that you gotta redo the entirety, well, like half of Ice Palace, but still. Skull Woods isn't too long.
Yeah. You just run straight to the end there.
And it doesn't even really need to do the hammer jump either with a small key, big key, and Kana Samaria.
Yeah. See if he decides to or not, and it is good practice to do it in a race situation. Elects not to. Can't really blame him. There's no reason to. You have all the keys for it, and you have Kane, so why bother?
And especially with Tempered Sword and Fire Rod, it's going to be a pretty quick fight.
Mm-hmm. Like, the biggest danger is just avoiding getting hit. Looks like he is going to check the big chest. Probably hoping to find some armor there. Sadly, no vanilla armor upgrades today. Just a big 20.
He's gonna go straight to Colster. I thought for a moment he was gonna go check the other chests. I'm not sure if he has or not.
He has all the other chests.
Okay.
He just has the item off Cold Stare left.
Right, because he has a compass. I could see it right at the top of the screen.
Yep, 8 items total in Ice Palace. In the regular randomized game, only 3 of those are of any use, but here, could be none of them, could be all of them.
Yeah, I really like that they gave a use to those maps and compasses for Keysanity, because, man, they were always... I don't know, even in the vanilla game, I felt like first playthrough, they were kind of pointless.
Mm-hmm. And that is Cold Stare down with pretty good use of the Fire Rod, and a spin attack to start. Compass to Eastern, and a Crystal. So on to Skull Woods. So again, if you liked what our runners were doing in tonight's race, go give them a follow. You know, they would appreciate it.
And also shout-outs to our trackers. We wouldn't be able to keep up with this match all on our own. We definitely rely on the trackers a great deal in these matches.
Trackers for this race were JTN 2002 and Return of the Jeff. I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I'm very tired at the moment.
Yeah, I believe that's the English pronunciation. I think normally it's jefe.
I'll keep that in mind for future reference, so I apologize.
But I guess Jeff works for the English translation.
Yeah.
At least we'll pretend it does.
Jixson saved from the hole by a wallmaster, I guess? It pulled it back out?
Nice.
Do you take damage when that happens? If you fall down a hole
don't
enough?
think
with
so.
the wall? So, there you go. It saved you a heart. It was nice of the wallmaster, you know, sometimes they're there for you.
It's better than those guards in Skyward Sword that just pick you up and then talk to you for like forever.
Yeah, here it's like, oh, I see you slipped and fell. Here, let me help you back to the start of the dungeon. Do you need anything? Do you need a drink? You hungry? I can bring you to McDonald's.
Yeah, I'll take a McChicken and a large Coke with no ice.
That sounds pretty good right now, actually. Jixson switching to potion, but only had one hit left and need to actually use it, getting their bug net and their 7th crystal. Now they are on their way up to Ganon's tower. Yes, this 8 p.m. daily Keysanity race brought to you by McChickens and Cokes with no ice.
The McChickens, of course, being those things that the OK guy was slashing at earlier.
Mm-hmm. And the Coke is obviously, if you mix red, green, and blue potion together, it just forms this brown mess, so... If you time it right, you could catch one of the balls that Cold Stare drops on you. Catch that in the bottle, and that's your ice.
The OK guy wanting some Sega action that Jixson has with his Sonic Sprite.
Toe Jam and Earl, not a bad choice. It's keeping in the spirit of Randomizer. There is the mode that randomizes the item location, so it still fits. The worst possible Dead Rock location for Jixson on that bridge.
Wow!
That's rude.
It cut in line, too. It came in from behind him.
It stops you even with a cape? Wow.
Huh.
Did not know that.
course, fun fact, you can powder or use Quake on them before they freeze. Like as they're running around or just like sitting there mocking you. And turns them into little jellies that you could kill.
Powder works on them?
Yep.
Wow. I did not know that. Learning stuff on commentary today. Oh, it was official that they were the worst enemy in the game way before this liminality. That just makes them worse somehow. I don't know how, but... So, Jixson using the power of the 7 crystals to open up Ganon's tower. We'll see if they decide to check for any armor upgrades or not. Nope, living up to their sprite's namesake. Gotta go fast, straight up the stairs they go.
Plenty of arrows to deal with these mimics.
Mm-hmm. The sprite detection in that lower left corner is just so weird. You think you have them and nah, it hits the BMOS. No, try again.
I want to say I could actually hit the beam from the BMOS as well.
Interesting.
I know I could hit Vitreous's lightning.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love some of the weird stuff in this game and what you can and can't do. Like, no caping through dead rocks.
Making his way into the secret fairy room. It basically proves why bonking across pits is intended by developers, and thus can be required by logic for a couple locations, actually. There's the hookshot cave that has the chest you could bonk to, and there's the left side of Ganon's tower. It just has one chest you could bonk to, but usually you have a hookshot before then. Not always.
Plus to get into Mire.
That's right.
Don't need a hookshot for that. Jixson electing to just Bombos for some of the gauntlet. Not a terrible plan because some of these rooms are just awful. Like this one in particular. You have half magic, it's only an 1/8 of a bar per use, so why not? Only missing 1 heart, no reason to grab the powder, the anti-fairy there, or the bunny beam.
Might actually benefit him by not having the sword beams.
Mm-hmm. A little bit early on the spins, but doesn't cost him too much time. Takes down Lamola 2, and moving on. Grabs the small magic and the heart there. Yes, Dragon Pike, there is another Link to the Past Randomizer race coming up in 20 minutes on Speed Gaming 3. It is an open mode race. Okay, first to 2 torch rooms. Playing things safe. Half magic makes it easier, but there is a full magic restore in the room below that one if you need it. And a couple of chest checks here, a big 20 and 50 rupees, so no armor, sadly.
Hey.
See if this chest ends up getting checked. Looks like no. Yep. Key. Small key to Tower of Hera. So the armor could be in the basement of Tower of Hera too, I guess.
Well then.
One spin on Moldorm 2. Knocked around a bit. And Moldorm just does Moldorm things. One spin. 2 spins.
Good second round.
Yep. And Moldorm 2 chest just contains some bombs.
Yeah, that could technically be useful. The bombs only do 1 damage, so you could damage yourself to get invincibility frames through the fire bats and whatnot. Or you could just use hookshot and be completely invincible.
Yep. Hookshot, cape. Okay, good double on Aga there. Maybe a double? Don't know if those two hit at too close of a time.
I think that was a double.
Okay, so we're at 4 or 5 here. We'll see in a moment.
Ooh.
That's kind of a rude pattern. And 6. So onward to Ganon. Just electing to cape and wail away on him. Gotta be careful about running out of magic. I don't remember if they bought potions or not.
Yeah, he did. Right before
Okay.
Pod. It was a while ago, but should still have at least one of them.
Oh, okay. 2 blues and a fairy. They're alright. That's 2 of 4 hits. And 4 of 4 hits. One hit.
Did you find the silver arrows at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, in one of the first locations people check. Good double. And that is it. And GG Jixson with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 41 minutes, 51 seconds. So, all of our featured runners have now finished.
And we're going to have the open mode race pretty shortly as well.
Yep, in about 12 minutes that should start. On Speed Gaming 3. It is an open mode race, so start without a sword and go from there. At least keys and dungeon items are in their proper locations.
Yeah, it's really interesting how much these different modes vary. Even Randomizer has its own kind of unique rule sets for progression.
Mm-hmm. So, all told, that wasn't a horribly trolly Keysanity. It definitely led you down some paths you didn't have to take, Swamp Palace, for one, but it gave you half magic and tempered. Can't really complain too much about that.
Yeah, it had some out-of-the-way locations, like one of the pod's small keys on the graveyard ledge, and the ocarina in the spike cave, but like not too not trollier than usual, I'd say.
Yeah, no, that was fairly reasonable for Keysanity. Like, the worst thing you could say is Mirror at Smith's, which is a location you would want to check when you get Mirror. So if you put that off for too long, that costs you. But aside from that, not much.
And I guess the big key for Ice Palace being in Laser Bridge, but most runners know how to do the bomb jump by now. That's one of the first things you learn when you get into running Randomizer.
Yep, when I was taught by somebody, they're like, learn this, never forget it. People that I've taught how to do it. I'm like, learn this, never forget it. It's rare that you won't want to use this. So, I think that might be it for us. The 11 p.m. opening is starting soon if you want to watch ads on Speed Gaming 3. Thank you to our runners, thank you to the trackers.
And of
Jagger.
course the restreamers and Feasel and Mythical 9 for running speed gaming and all of its goings-ons. And thanks to my co-commentator.
It was fun, Jagger. I had fun commenting with you.
Yeah, same. And viewers like you.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Without you guys watching, we would have no reason to be doing this. So, you know, give yourselves a pat on the back. But that will be it for us. I'm Takeru Impulse, co-commentator Jagger G. Have a good night, everybody. Hang around, watch the 11 p.m. race. Hope to see you there. Take care. Have a good night.
See you.